Hello, everyone! Hello, and welcome to our first actual episode of Legacy Life Among the Ruins. I am Simon at Wandering DM. I will be the MC for this show. Game Master, MC, whatever you want to call him. We'll go around the table, introduce the cast of players that we have, and can you tell us real quick who you are and which family do you belong to? We'll start clockwise on the overlay with Kelly to begin with.
Oh, hi. I'm Kelly Lane on Twitter. I'm playing Sophia, who is a member of the Children of Persephone, which is a group of spiritual peoples that live in a commune-like state.
Up next, we have Anino.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Anino, and I am playing Wukong, the mech from Arclight Labs.
And last on the overlay, but not least, Deirdre.
Oh, hey, y'all. Welcome back. You all know me. I'm playing Bridget, and she's a McLean, which are kind of like... Well, we'll see. The lawgivers, and... Fun. I'm having fun.
All right, and so to begin, to just reiterate what happened during our session 0 last week, these groups all share they're all within a certain distance of each other in a part of the world that is most definitely somewhere in the United States, but without knowing exactly where it was prior to the end of the world. Everyone is within a few hours, maybe a day or so from each other, and they have means of communication, either through radio signals or with a communal radio, a mesh of transmitters or radios and walkie-talkies. Everyone can sort of, more or less from what we establish, keep in contact, albeit not constant contact, but you can share tales, rumors, and news with each other on a more or less regular basis. And of course, on that network of radios and such, you also have other people that do not belong to your families that will either ask for help, sometimes share things that they found, and news and all that. The world ended an undetermined amount of years ago. A century, probably even more. The world that we know today ended because of these giant monsters, these behemoths that rampaged across the world. In a last-ditch effort, the governments of the world tried to stop the approach of the monsters by detonating several bombs within a low atmosphere, trying to generate an EMP that, while it would and did destroy most of Earth's technology, managed to stun the monsters and put a stop to their mayhem. This, of course, led to a collapse of society, and then a period of, let's say, calm. Peace, maybe? Where humans were too busy trying to simply survive than to expand into the wastes. So much so that nature took back its place, and we open up on this world of not deserted, barren wastelands like you would see in other post-apocalyptic games, but in a lush and verdant environment. Trees, tall grasses, all manner of plants and flowers, animals, and of course, monsters. Your three families, both the Lawgivers, the McLeans, Arclight Lab, and the Children of Persephone, picked up a radio transmission about a day or so ago. It came from the trading post near one of the McLean's settlements, which we're gonna need to find a name for it. The radio transmission was fairly simple. Have found a map. Might be something interesting. Not willing to go by myself, but I could send others for a small finder's fee. If you're interested, come to the trading post. Post haste. Haha.
Did the maniacal laughter go with it?
Yes, the person did laugh at their own joke.
Okay. Just, you know.
Is that really maniacal?
I mean, it seemed a little maniacal. Or at least creepy.
All right, that's fair.
And so your families, all three of your families, have decided to send you out. Because perhaps these coordinates, that this map could lead to something that you are in desperate need of, be it weapons, people, defenses, transports, what have you. Medicine, maybe even something that you do not necessarily need, but that you could stock up on and eventually trade for something else. Being the three most important families this side of the river, the three of you will make your way to the trading post. But first, we're going to do our first move of the session, which is called zooming in. We will begin our adventures as you approach the trading post. I would like to know, before you moved out of your, well, not moved out, but before you set forth from the settlement, the place that you're hiding in, you must tool up. And tool up is our first mechanical move. I would like to know, what do you bring with you? What do you have on your sheet? Who wants to go first?
I can.
All right.
Well, the McLeans are lawgivers and rangers and usually prepared for almost anything. Almost. So, well, we always have the signature weapon of the McLeans, which is a short sword. It's also a stun baton, worn prominently. Kind of obvious. Works as both a slashing, stabbing, and electrocuting. Sometimes those are necessary. Then we also have, pretty decent uniforms, I guess, for lack of a better term. They're rugged, utility, tough. Advantage that I have because I'm playing Sentinel, I get to add another tag to that as I tool up, and we're going to go with armored this time. And also probably carry some sort of like basic gear and comm system.
You
Yeah.
also, if you look at the handouts, and that's for everyone, I've added sheets with all of the moves in the handouts.
Mhm.
So if you look at story moves, you'll find in the lower left corner the tool up move. So if your family has any surpluses,
Yeah, pick a relevant benefit, add
Yeah.
one tag to the gear of the mission, get
so I don't know
As
what
many
your
copies of
surpluses
weapon.
are at the moment.
add one to the quality instead of powers of this mission. Okay. I has to check. What are our surpluses? What we got lying around? Weapons! We got a shit ton of weapons.
Then you could, if you wanted, take an extra tag on your weapon, or change it for a
Yes.
different weapon.
I think we'll go with a extra tag on the weapon
All right.
because the weapon is. I would also add that like we have some guns that we carry, but they're not necessarily always for everyone. So they are. Sometimes a little. Wait, what's the. Sorry, going back and forth between so many sheets. Probably we have a couple extra heavy pistols for ranged and brutal because the short swords are melee and
Mhm.
elegant.
All right.
But yeah, short sword, leather duster, armor, badge, gun, pack, out the door.
Good. Who wants to go next?
I'll go.
Cool.
So just a quick clarification. Even though that weapons, prestige, and recruits are needs for Arclight Labs,
Mhm.
that doesn't mean I'm weaponless, right? It just
No,
means I can't. So
It just
can't
means
add a
that
third.
you. Yeah, that's it. That like
Okay.
while you have weapons because you have to go out. Mechanically, it means that you can't add any other tags. Narratively, it means that you probably own maybe the majority of weapons.
Okay. All right. Okay, so Wukong is going to suit up, and E has a command vehicle, official Arclight Labs battle big rig.
Okay.
It is a command vehicle that has land. It's equipped with a med bay, and it's got a turret on it.
Okay.
Armor-wise, he has Helldiver armor,
Mhm.
which is hardened, sealed, and mobile. And he's carrying, or upon his mech, he has a mass driver, his weapon of choice installed.
All right. Oh, I think you froze.
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay, good. And was there anything that you wanted that you could tool up with according to the surpluses that you have? Anything relevant?
Yeah, so I did add the additional tags
Okay.
for the defense and command.
Oh, all right. And Sophia, what do you set out with?
Sorry, having a little bit of internet issue. Okay, so I set out with just kind of wearing very plain clothes, easily blending into my environment. I have essentially a hunting knife and some healing supplies on me. So I have surpluses in land and safety. So I think, if it's all right with you, what I might go with is to add a tag to basically my knife that says that I have more of them, so I have many.
Many? Yeah, so you can't lose all of them.
Yeah, since it's a simple weapon. And also, so each surplus. I also might do getting a scout's report.
Oh, yes. So you gain 1 data. And
I also... Go ahead.
yes, I was just going to say, you can spend them either to reveal a new feature on the map, or boost one of your roll. This is basically intel that you got about like the land around and all that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to hold on to that.
Uh-huh.
And then I also have on my character sheet, it says that when you tool up, you gain a device recently recovered from the wasteland.
Oh, nice. Yes. So,
and it says, and say what defenses you set off in the process, but I don't really know what that would be because we haven't gotten very far.
No, that is true. So let me just check real quick. Okay, so devices are used for the Unleash Power move, which I think is a basic move. Yeah, Unleash Power. So basically we have to determine together, what is this device that you found? What is this piece of ancient tech that you have? What does it do? Or what is it supposed to do? Because when you use it to unleash its power, it might either work just as planned, or it might go awfully, awfully wrong. But the device, the nature of the device itself is something that I leave up to you or the group if you need help with. Since this is something that, not something that I've put into the world, but something that you're bringing because of the move that you have.
I would like it to be some kind of like hologram creator.
Okay. And let's say what type of hologram can it create? Just about anything, or
I'd say it can basically hold a kind of like a simple human-sized hologram, maybe like on some kind of loop, so like human or smaller.
okay. And what could potentially be its side effect if it like doesn't work right?
It could display the wrong thing or make noise.
Okay, because it's a silent hologram.
Yeah.
Hologram normally. Okay. And you said it's a human shape and human size and my last question for you would be, color-wise, or like resolution-wise, how good is it? How perfect? How does it stand? Let's say if we compare with like holograms from Star Wars, like is it better than that, or is it like people are like in blue and black with like lines going up and down, weird shitty
Say
quality?
it's supposed to be better, but
Okay.
that could be one of the downsides is that it isn't.
Okay, but normally it should look like an actual replica of a person.
Yeah.
Cool. Now the question is the defenses you might have set up. Anyway, the defenses you've tripped in recovering it basically means where did you get it and what happened.
So my entire gig for my family is to basically scavenge amongst ruins. So I imagine that maybe I was actually getting really close to the larger city and was scavenging, and I found it there.
Okay.
So defenses triggered could be anything of alerting another family of my presence, snooping around that area, or something like that. I don't know.
Okay. And did I have anything else? No, that is it.
I did forget one thing,
Yes.
because I also had another resource of leadership, but we also have mounts in the battle-hardened smaller kaiju beasts
Yes.
that are land mounts, which means they're quasi-intelligent, so they can follow basic orders. I have Roach.
That's one thing that I forgot to mention during the session 0, but when the kaiju appeared and destroyed everything and like smaller kaijus appeared and all that, nobody named them. People didn't have time for that. So the monsters that you see, if you want to name them, go ahead. It might just be the names that people in the wasteland have given them. It could be just how you yourself call these creatures. But whenever you encounter a new creature, I'll describe it. But I don't have any notes whatsoever about like how they could be called. That I am leaving that up to you. All right? Cool. So then let us begin with the three of you from the three biggest families in the wastes, leaving your respective bunkers or headquarters and going to this trading post. I'll begin by describing the trading post as the camera sets upon it. It's in the middle of a plain, almost like an old crossroads of sorts. A place where it was probably a major roadway before. The pavement has cracked, and thick roots bar the way in most places. Of course, the Arclight Lab vehicle is, made to go into rough terrain and everything, so that's not going to be an issue, but it does sort of offer a more or less natural protection to the area. The trading post is an old gas station with a garage next to it. The tanks in front are long gone. Now it's just a building with boarded up windows and a painted sign up front. that reads, Joe Montana's bartering surplus. And you can hear, as you approach the place, music. If you were to look at the trading post, one of the garage doors open, and right on the edge stands an old jukebox, banged up and in need of love. But whatever old vinyl disc is stuck in it, or cassette, still plays the same song on repeat, which is about 1.5 minutes long. There's nobody in front of the place. Most of the area is out in the open, but as soon as you walk maybe 100 paces away from the trading post, from the crossroad, you're back into the woods. And now,
For scale,
yes.
question, is this like a normal gas station or is this a truck stop?
A normal gas station. It would have been sort of the type of gas station that you have like on the on or off ramp of a highway, but that's not big enough. Like, you're entering a residential district right after, so trucks won't get off the highway there. So it's a large-ish gas station, but it was meant to serve regular cars and not truckers and the like. And as you approach, I would like each one of you to describe what we see approaching the gas station, and also, what are your hopes about this map, this message that you received? I'll start with Wukong. You're muted, Wukong.
So anyone who's watching will just hear and feel this rumbling along the cracked pavement. There is cracked pavement, I'm assuming, on the road leading up to this place. But the vehicle that pulls up has a relatively quiet engine. Maybe it's just because it's really advanced and doesn't actually run on traditional fuel, whatnot. But it's picture like it's the truck that Optimus Prime is in, but it's just this Stormtrooper white sleek paneling on it, and there's a little star-like logo and a comet trail, and it just says ArcLight on it. There is a turret on top of what do they call that? The trailer. That doesn't appear to be moving, but it does look rather menacing with its 4 barrels that are pointed out. And strangely enough, inside the truck, you can see the driver. The driver is appears to be a chimpanzee with a little driver's cap on it. The chimpanzee appears to take its job very seriously here as it pulls up. And then the trailer back doors will just open with a snap hiss, and lumbering out will be Wukong.
And what does Wukong look like?
Wukong, as I mentioned before, is shaped like a gorilla with an almost a very polished metallic armor. It's a dark grayish color, and it's got very sleek and round curves to it, so it doesn't look terribly polygonish.
Okay, yeah.
And you know, and just like a gorilla, he has massive arms, which he uses to move on his knuckles, pushing himself forward, even though he could stand on his rear legs normally if needed to.
Okay. And who else? What are your hopes about this this map? What's going on through Wukong's head as it approaches the trading post?
Wukong is looking, is kind of trying to prioritize the weapons or the needs that Arclight Hat Labs has right now. And priority-wise, he's looking for more weapons as well as recruits. And then the least important need right now is the prestige.
So he's hoping to find something to basically bring prestige back to the family.
That's the least important.
The least important
thing. Primarily right now, he's looking for more weapons and trying to build Arclight Labs' arsenal because while they have a number of other mechs who are in operation, there aren't very many weapons to go around. So in order to deploy more operatives, they need to get more of those weapons. And in order to continue maintaining their number of mechs, they need more engineers and recruits to handle the operations side of things.
Who else do we see approaching the trading post?
I think Sophia approaches pretty casually. She's basically just kind of walking down the road, like swinging her backpack around. I think she isn't trying to blend in right now or anything. She probably was on the way here, but she doesn't want to, like, she wants it to be very obvious that she's coming. You can see her wearing basically like a brown hand stitched together shirt and kind of cargo-esque pants. She's got what look to be kind of homemade earrings and kind of beaded necklaces made from like found materials, essentially. A lot of it like twigs and maybe little bits of plastic that were left behind in the rubble. She's got, her hair is kind of shaved close to her head. And she's just kind of whistling as she walks up.
And what does Sophia hope to find with that map?
Hold on 1 second. Google Chrome crashed a second time, so I have to pull up my character sheet again. But we got it. So she's looking for recruits for people that she's constantly looking for people that may need assistance and that may want to join up. Especially if those people happen to be crafty, who can kind of create things. So artisans who can make clothes, anything, things that are both practical, but also things that are kind of rarely beautiful in a way.
Okay. Mm. And lastly,
you would see Bridget riding up on her. Well, they just call them the scimitar cats, probably. No one's quite sure what their actual name is. Nobody bothered to ask. They're probably stand about 5, maybe 6 foot to the shoulder, size of a small horse, but with giant lower fangs that look like scimitars. Not quite as big as the extinct, what is known saber-tooth cats, but a little bit smaller. And they're, instead of fur, like a, well, they have like a jaguar spotted pattern that kind of blends in browns and greens that blended into the foliage pretty well as a ground hunter. But it also has a like tougher, harder hide, almost like an elephant hide.
Okay, yeah.
And they're nominally intelligent, at least to understand basic things. Probably have been, Bridget's probably, one of those you bond with your mount kind of things. Unfortunately, being, there aren't a lot of McLeans. They're relatively few. We kind of need a few more, but we try to ride patrols out here. Don't always happen, but we try. And we're a little spread thin. We could use a little bit more help. And I mean, we're looking probably to see if we could also, up anything that'll help with the defenses in the area, spread the patrols out further, help more folk out if we can. And well, the cats are good, fun bonds. They don't bond with everybody real well, and because of that, there's some, transportation issues.
Okay. You could stand to have something better.
I mean, some folk could. We need another option for those who the cats don't pick, because the cats choose.
And that brings us to the trading post. As the three of you enter, you have probably met one another before in the course of your travels, or at least heard of one another. Inside the trading post are two other people aside from the post's owner and manager. Those two people, clearly survivors as well. You don't know where from. They are wearing torn and patched up leather pants with metal knee guards and shin pads. Their boots have been covered with metal plates, and they don't wear anything from the waist up. Their upper bodies are covered in tribal tattoos and dirt. The two gentlemen, for there are two men, or at least male presenting, are heavily scarred. They are completely clean shaven. No hair, no beard, not even eyebrows. Their facial features are such that they could probably be mistaken for brothers. Even though when you look at them carefully, you notice that their faces are different. Probably related, but probably not brothers. And one of them is carrying a rifle. And the other one has a wicked rusty spiked mace? Like a morning star, but built out of scrap metal and nails. More than anything. And of course you have in the trading post one Joe Montana. Bearded fellow in his 30s, currently wearing a grayish tank top under an army vest, army jacket. He is wearing jeans that are being held together with duct tape, basically. A couple of belts around his waist, probably to hold said pants in place. And he currently has a pair of goggles over on the top of his head. And you can see that his lower face is distinctively dirtier than the area around his eyes. He looks at the three of you come in and says, "Well, would you look at that? More people coming for the map." Well, you are coming for the map, or are you coming to trade?
I'm here for the map. I don't know what they're here for, but I'm here for the map. I think it would be fun.
Probably.
I am indeed here for the map.
You're a very fancy fella. I wager you come from, somewhere clean.
Oh, yes, we generally have our labs pretty well kept.
That's amazing. Well, if you'll pardon the mess, I haven't been here in a while, and I need to take care of a few things. But here the Juno brothers are also here for the map, it seems. And the other two brothers just look at you both, smile a little, and nod. I don't want to make copies of it and then have all of you people just sent out into the wilderness to jump at each other's throat the moment you have a chance. So I'd rather here keep this map in relative security until one of you can pay me for it. And whoever manages to purchase it, well, I'm gonna leave it to them. How about that deal?
What do you want for it?
I mean, what can you offer?
I mean, I can offer everything from a fine shirt just like this one to I'm really good at finding tech. I can find you some tech. You want tech?
Well, this place would stand to need an upgrade at some point, and I mean, my shirt's pretty ripped up, and winter's gonna be a-coming in a few months. I would rather have something to survive the cold. But these two gentlemen here, they promised me to find me some medicine and some food. Bring it to me. And one of the two brothers says, "Yeah. As much as you need. For at least a year." I mean, I can hardly pass such an opportunity.
That's an impressive.
Well, you know, medicine's only really as good as the person administering it.
How do you know that these brothers have the capacity to fulfill such a generous offer over the course of a year?
I do not. That's why I haven't sold them the map just yet. But I don't know if you can hold on your end of the bargain either. I'm a trader, you see. I trade things. If you have anything for the map right now, you might be the lucky ones to go away with it. Or if you can manage to get me something quick, like I can always hold on to it for a couple of days. The two brothers whisper at each other. They say, "Hello, raiders!" Welcome! We're just starting sort of starting our Legacy first session.
What do you want?
It's not a question of what I want, more like, what can you offer? There's a lot of things I want, but I know y'all can't offer everything.
Well, if it's transportation services that you require, assure you that Arclight Labs has the proper equipment to safely see that your goods arrive at their destination promptly.
That's mighty interesting. Almost as interesting as a new shirt. Some new technology. I'd say having a reliable source of transport would avoid hurting my back with all the shit I have to carry when I scavenge around.
Best I can offer you is help and a very fine weapon. And protection. But you already have that.
I do have to admit, I'm, And he looks at an empty holster on his hip. Kind of in need of a weapon now that I went and lost mine in the city.
You don't. She doesn't say anything, but there's this look across Bridget's face of like, that was stupid. I am judging you for your failure to maintain your equipment, sir. And like her hair is dark brown, probably, and the only thing that's noticeable is the scar that goes across her face is the hat she kind of keeps low. But like, she doesn't say it, but she's definitely judging everything that he just said.
Well, then. What about you, gentlemen? And the Juno brothers, as he introduced them, stop whispering for a moment. They turn and say, "We'll have to respectfully disagree. We can't bring anything at the moment." And they look at the three of you. Good luck, then. And they leave. They gave up pretty easily.
Do we know?
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, do we know anything about the Juno brothers?
That would probably be our first move in game. Lindade, call in depth, flush with resources. It probably isn't something that you're family would need to absolutely be made aware of. I'd say so. We can do it either ways. Either you go through your family for it. In that case, that would be a move called Uncover Secrets.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just change the questions a bit to. Oh, the CouchCon command is still active. We'll change the moves a bit, the questions. Well, although some of the questions can still remain. Or if it's someone, if you want to know if you yourself have seen them, then you can definitely try a familiar face to see if you've seen them before.
Familiar face?
That would be a character move, and it's you roll plus sway.
Yeah, let's try that. And I get a thing from the family because we have investigators. We get
Okay.
questioning and deduction as tags.
What does that do?
I'm not 100% sure. Quality 1, questioning and deduction is what it says.
That's part of the lawgivers.
Yep.
Let me just. What's the move? The name of the move?
It's not a move, it's just it's part of our assets. Assets, expertise, investigators, quality 1, questioning and deduction. But I'll roll.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying. Oh, yeah, okay, the expertise you draw on. I found it. Yeah, or you could have. So if you wanted, the investigators, you can roll for them instead. And that would mean that your family has investigated these brothers at some point in the past. So in that case, because it would be the investigator doing the job, you would roll their quality, which is a +1.
Okay, so then just any +1 or sway +1, is that it?
Let me check. Where do I have that? Ah, followers, thank you. Basically, it's a roll called under. It's a move called Under Orders, and yeah, it would be just their quality.
Okay, so
So on a hit,
so +1. Any +1 is what you're
yeah,
saying.
2d6 +1, and that would mean that your family has investigated them in the past.
Five.
So
The answer is no.
a 5. Yeah, unfortunately, they... Oops, sorry. Need to plug myself in. Your family never managed to either find information on the Juno brothers or never thought about investigating them before.
She just leans back on the cat and tips the hat a bit.
Sorry, what?
She just leans back on the cat and tips the hat a bit.
Yes, we are all new to this game, and I'm new to GMing PBTA, so please bear with us. Wukong and Sophia, anything special that you want to do with the brothers, or do you leave them? Do you give them enough room so that they can leave?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, Wukong's not going to move for them. He's fucking Wukong.
So you just remain firmly in place as they just stop, look at you. How tall is Wukong?
Wukong is 10 feet tall. And that's just hunched over and resting on all fours.
They look up and they're like, well, ain't ya a mighty fine specimen? Nope, that's the wrong voice. Well, aren't you a very fine specimen? They wait for a few moments, shifting their weight from foot to foot, realizing that you're not about to give them any way. They just wiggle between you and the wall to get to the exit.
I think when this is happening, Sophia, who's like maybe 5 feet tall, so like literally half a Wukong, kind of does like a really like a little skip and a showing them the door kind of motion.
They don't look at you with the same cold stare that they looked at Wukong since you showed them. You know, you were at least a little bit polite. But there's definitely something off about the pair.
Something tells me that whoever ends up with this map is likely going to run into those two.
Can I do the same kind of move that Bridget did to see if I know anything about them?
Do you have any followers that have a quality that could help? Or a tag that
so that
could
would be on like my family sheet or something?
Are you an elder? No, you're not an
No.
elder. So yeah, those would be on your family sheet if your family has any like retainers. It would be under expertise if you've chosen that.
Most lifestyle. Oh. No, it doesn't look like I have. So I don't have any inquisitors. I just have people. I've got healers instead.
Okay.
I think like. I was thinking more that like Sophia's role in the family is to be the little explorer that kind of wanders around and collects info.
Then you could absolutely roll
As the
familiar
seeker.
face. So
Okay.
it's you roll 2d6 plus sway.
And I'm gonna use the data that I got earlier
To give yourself a plus one.
to give myself a +1.
All right. On a 7 to 9, pick two. Either you don't owe them anything. Oh wait, that might not have been the proper move. No, because that's for old friends. Aha! My bad. Keep that roll, but it's another move that I need. We actually don't have a move for like, have I ever met like these people before?
So I
So
would just use familiar face with different.
with different things, yeah. So I'll say because you rolled an 8, you get to ask me 2 questions about them, and that would be my answers will be reliable information that you got.
Where on the map have I run into these people before?
Ooh, good question. You have run into them roughly here. I don't know if you see my ping.
Do it again. Oh no, I don't see it.
Okay. Oh, because I might not be on the proper layer. How about that?
There we go. Okay. So they're close to... I've run into them close to the trading post before.
Yeah.
Okay. As far as I'm aware, what are they looking for?
They're looking to expand. They are, from what you know, either living by themselves or with a very tight cell of like-minded individuals. Not enough to be a family, not enough to carve their place in the wasteland, but they're like up-and-comers.
So they're like a small little group that wants to rise to the status of like family through recruitment. And okay. I will share that information with Bridget. And I don't think Sophia is very good at whispering unless she absolutely has to, so probably everybody else hears it too. And it's all like, I think I've seen them once before. Yeah, they were only like a couple hours away from here, I think. It was like a couple weeks ago. I don't really remember, but I've definitely seen the people with the shirtless. That's like an interesting look. I don't remember what they were talking about. They were talking about like not having enough stuff or being authoritative enough or wanting space. I don't know. I think they want to be some like big shots, but they're not big shots. They're like small fries. Which I don't really know what fries are, but it's something I read in a book.
I believe it's a method of cooking. You fry a shit ton of crap.
That sounds good.
Makes pretty much anything tasty. No matter how old or hard it is, frying it will make it taste good. Well, Mr. Montana?
Yep, that would be me.
I don't usually purchase any items sight unseen. Do you actually have this map?
I do. I can show you the map. And he bends down behind the counter and gets a taped up, dog-eared, half-faded, like, tourist map. And he opens it up. And it's not that big. It's actually of an area that doesn't, like, correspond to anything that is in this area, but someone drew over it with landmarks and certain things, but he doesn't like give you enough time to see much more than the fact that someone drew stuff over it before pulling it out of you. That's all I can show you as far as a preview, a free teaser of the map. It's real. I looked at it with my own eyes. It's just... Well, I'll let you in on something. The area circled on the map's pretty far. I'm by my own lonesome. I would have rather have a team with me or something if I wanted to go. Probably a few means of transportation, and he looks at Wukong. But, instead I can just told myself, screw it. I'll find someone what wants it, and, I'll take something more immediate from them. So y'all made some very good offers. You were gonna say?
I think Sophia kind of goes and like elbows Bridge a little bit, and then goes to like elbow and like just kind of taps him in the thigh. And it's just like, I mean, you're both gonna want me along, seeing as I can actually like help you if you get stabbed or something.
You are moderately successful at healing folk up. This is true.
And I can find you things, because I mean, stabbing you won't do the same thing, but I can find you fancy stuff.
I'm okay with company.
Company can be enjoyable at times. Well then, Mr. Montana, and she kind of like reaches behind her back, underneath the duster behind her back, and pulls out a pistol and spins it in her hand, and sets it down on the table.
That's a pistol?
Well, I did promise you a weapon, sir.
I'm going under the assumption that we would be splitting the cost of this map 3 ways, and we'll just have to agree to negotiate how to split the bindings, if there are any.
I can work with that agreement, sir.
That's fine to me. I mean, like, it'd be nice to get something out of this whole thing, but really, I'm just kind of bored, and my family was really tired of me talking all the time. So I just like to have something to do.
I support having something to do.
Well then, if you want to split the cost 3-way, I mean, I can give the map to one of you, and the others just are gonna have to pay that person back, I guess. How about that?
Smokes.
For what?
I said Okie smokes.
Oh, I've never heard that in my life before. Is that French?
It's like okie dokie or okay. I think the long term is okie dokie smoky. I just shortened it because that's a lot of words.
Okie smokes then. And he gets the map up on the counter, all folded up. Says, well, thank you for the pistol. I wish you good luck. And if you ever need anything, I'm not going out for a while, so got anything to trade? I'm right here. Joe Montana's bartering surplus is open for as long as I feel like it.
Mm-hmm. Bridget,
those are some really fun working hours.
Bridget leaves the pistol, gets back on, palms the map, and then kind of like holds it over her shoulder at Wukong, recognizing who the important people in this group are.
If you wouldn't mind, as to open that map in full and hold it out for me so that my Bing scanner can take a photo.
Alright. And she opens it up and holds it up.
So Wukong bends over a little bit, focuses in. You just see a little bit of a flash in his eyes, in its eyes, as he basically just downloads a high-res image of the map for himself.
And then she folds it up and hands it to Sophia.
Who's gonna unfold it and open it up and look at it and twist it around a bunch and see if she can orient them given her encyclopedic knowledge of the world.
So with what's drawn on
You're
it,
muted.
Yeah, I'd muted myself. As she starts to do this, Bridget kind of like just slightly pushes her out the door. It's like, we want to have this conversation outside.
all right, you come again.
As she waves and is like, waits till they're outside, closer to Wukong's transport, is like, I promised the gentleman a pistol. I never promised him ammunition to go with it.
Well, that's sneaky. That's not very nice.
He didn't ask.
I'm sure he can source his ammunition later. He should have bartered.
Well, then I guess we should walk faster then, huh?
What's he going to shoot us with? No bullets in his gun.
An angry glance? That would be mean.
I'm not usually much bothered by a gentleman's angry glance, but I have a small fear about handing somebody else an armed weapon that I'm going to put my back to. Minor issues, you understand.
As you leave the trading post and you look at the map, Sophia, you notice that everything is drawn in crayon on it.
Oh, it's so pretty.
There's a big blue bar that goes from the top left corner to the bottom right corner, which would probably be like the river. There's an area in the bottom left corner that's been like two sort of weird shapes drawn in gray on each side of the river, one on each side. And there's a few bridges that are drawn. One thing that does strike you as like landmarks. Woof, I lost the word for a second. The first one is a hastily drawn skeleton in black. And then farther to the northwest of there is a in the blue bar, someone took a white crayon and drew like a spiral.
I know what that one is.
And then if you look at the map on Roll20, you will notice that there's an area circled in green. It is an area circled in green on your map.
Okay. She'll fold it up. She'll go that way. She won't even point on the road. She'll just point literally in the straightest path. And then she'll look at the very large vehicle. And the angry cat thing and her own feet. Can I hitch a ride?
That's a good question. Wukong. Can your vehicle house? Like, can more people sit in? Can it transport more than just you and your driver?
Yes,
Just sit on your shoulders.
Well, it'd be uncomfortable and unsecured in the trailer, but there is a sleeping cab and a bucket seat in the shotgun part. So up to 2 people could probably travel in there. More if you decide to stack them in the sleeper.
Okay. You can all climb aboard.
Shotgun!
I'll stick with Tiernan. You're fine. The last time we tried to get Tiernan inside Wukong's vehicle, I do recall some discussion of upholstery and claws.
Indeed. So when Sophia looks into the cab of the truck, she'll notice that there are some claw marks on the back.
They've never been repaired.
No, they have not.
Quick question for the three of you. As you are going to need someone to guide you through the wilderness, that is a move called Wilderness Survival, and it's based on steel.
Except for me.
Oh, except for you.
I can roll that. Yeah. I guess Bridget would kind of just say, which way we going, Sophia?
Well, I have a 1 either way, so you can figure it out, and I'll be here.
Where are we heading? Tell me where we're heading.
That way. The big whirly-pooly thing in the river, you know, that people don't go by because it's lots of beasties over there. It's like, north and a notch westish, eastish.
Which side of the river we gotta be on?
The other side.
Alright, so we'll head through the post then. It's like, I can get us there, but I have other people that'll tell me what the map says about where we're going.
I'll be the navigator, you'll be the driver.
I'll ride the cat, and we'll let Wukong and their associate be
His
the
name is
driving.
Bongos.
Bongos? Is good to know.
It'll lift. It lifts his cap a bit.
Are you musically inclined, sir?
Bongos is not much of a conversationalist, but his hands do rest on a 10 and 2 on the wheel at all times. And then he just glares over at Bongos. Isn't that right?
And you see Bongo just readjusts his hands on the wheel.
Oh, this is gonna be fun, guys.
Alright, let's see if we can get where we're going.
So, can you draw me on the map the... and by the way, I will have a better map for next time. I just didn't have time to get all the icons I wanted today. So can you just draw me on the map the path that you would wish to take?
Well, we're coming from the trading post,
Yeah.
and I need to get over here, right?
Yeah.
The quickest way would probably be to follow patrol route that she knows, pick up here, and then go, get to here, and then follow crossland this way.
Okay.
So basically, like following the patrol route
Mm-hmm.
around, across the bridge, up and around to the base, around. Want me to roll or?
Yeah, I'm just counting. That's 2, 1, 2, 3,
Like,
4.
She
1,
would
2, 3.
basically.
Yeah, no,
pick
that's
up-
okay. Basically, you would need to get there.
Mhm.
The whole journey, and that's going to be a little more crunchy than what a legacy is normally, because normally you roll like once and that's it. But since this is your first time out, I would like it if like we stand to discover things along the way. So because you're following the patrol route, the first 3 steel checks that you make, you can roll 3d6 and keep the 2 best. Or the 2 highest.
It's that's an 11 for the first one.
All right, for an 11, pick one. You either lose something along the way, a member of your group is hurt or sick, or an obstacle or threat is blocking your way back.
I'm gonna say there's probably an obstacle.
Okay, and because you rolled 10 plus,
Wait, we're doing Wasteland Survival, right?
yeah, Wasteland Survival. If you have it, yeah, it's... Why am I, like, saying that out loud? You can just look at the basic moves, Wasteland Survival.
Yeah. So there's probably an obstacle on our way back. I mean, those brothers do seem to be an obstacle to our existence. And then... probably find another route that we can take again without having to roll for it.
Good. So we'll skip one completely. So you manage to... We'll say that the obstacle that occurred is the bridge that you crossed, which is near the Juno family's hideout. After you crossed it, the bridge hasn't always been this solid, and the weight of Wukong's vehicle was enough to create a gap in the bridge. Part of it collapsed after you were through. So it will need to be repaired at some point. But right now, it means that your patrol route is, like, disrupted in that area. I don't know what that was. Can you make one other check as you're nearing the fort?
14. Crit.
14? Same thing?
Someone is sick. But the group, I don't know, making us have to stop maybe at the fort.
Yeah, let me just check what...
And, you discover a hidden treasure in the wasteland, worth a lot if you can secure it. Because, you know, I do survival. It's what I do. Question.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think this counts as guarding an expedition.
Does everyone agree that this counts as guarding an expedition?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Thank you.
We are expeditioning, and you have a big fancy knife thing, so...
And a couple of others is fine. It just... It's part of my playbook.
Mm-hmm. I'll say that one of you, whoever chooses, gets sick. As you're traveling, this is the about like third hour of travel since you've left the trading post.
I feel like it should probably be me because I'm the one that's organic.
Makes sense. And how are you sick? What happens to Sophia?
I think she just has like a tummy ache. And she's just like, oh, I don't feel good. I've been outside for so long. And I might have ate some stuff that might not have been good anymore.
Does Sophia get car sick?
Oh, that could be it.
I think she got car sick.
I just feel really nauseous, and I don't know why. My head hurts, and everything keeps bouncing.
You have my sympathies. There
Please
is
stop for a minute so I can throw up. As someone who gets miserably motion sick, this is real life. Like
So-
either you're gonna pull over so I can throw up, or I'm gonna just check out the window and it might get on the side of your very fancy vehicle right now.
the the Arclight Labs tractor trailer slows down to a halt and pulls off on a shoulder, and the side door pops open.
As you do, you notice, because you're looking down, you see a shadow pass overhead.
Uh-oh.
As you look up, and everyone else sees that shadow a few seconds after, a giant-sized wasp, I guess? With a horned head, reddish wings, and an abdomen that is glowing red. The rest of its body is black. It's currently gliding, hence why it's not making any noise. But it like picks back up and begins buzzing away as it turns around and seems to head in your direction.
I dive into a bush.
And that's where we're going to take our break. We'll be right back, everyone. Stick around. Hey everyone, we're back! So, music kind of stopped. Music, why did you stop? Ah, there we go. Ahem. So, right before we left, Sophia got sick in the, well, she didn't get sick in the Arclight transport, but she did get sick outside of it and saw a shadow passing overhead. As the group looked up into the sky, this giant wasp-like creature with red membranous wings and a glowing red abdomen was gliding over you and veered around and is now darting in your direction. What do you do?
Do we all see this?
Oh yes, and by now you hear the buzzing of the wings.
Miss Sophia, I highly recommend that you return to the vehicle immediately.
Like, I figure hearing that, Bridget, who's riding her giant scimitar-toothed cat with hide armor, with jaguar patterning, is pulled the blade, interestingly enough, left-handed. And she holds the blade, and she fights with the blade left-handed, and she's running. I'm assuming I was like slightly in front because I'm leading the way through. So she's like, lets Tiernan charge back and kind of like dive rolls off of Tiernan to kind of stand guard in front of Sophia, and lets Tiernan try and jump and pounce on giant bug thing.
Okay. Before we make
sword in her left hand.
Before we make any moves on that, Wukong, what's your reaction?
Wukong's reaction is to calmly send out an order to Bongos. Bongos, engage weapons mode. And as upon that command, the steering wheel and dashboard fold back in, and out pops a set of 4 bongos. And you just hear a click whirl, and the turret on top of the Bashib swivels forward. And then you see that the Bongo's hat turns into, drops a little visor that's connected to the sights on the gun, so he can target more effectively. And just hear Wukong go, "Fire at will, please." And then Bongos just starts pounding a steady beat on all 4 of the little drums that he's got. And each drum corresponds to one of the barrels on this quad gun turret.
Okay, yeah.
And he's just going to unleash thunderous rounds right at the wasp.
Awesome. So let's that move would be to fiercely assault. You are fiercely assaulting an enemy.
I would say so, yes.
However, the way this game works is basically the group as a whole will act like as one, basically.
Okay.
Or do they act as one? 2 seconds, the way it looks. Terms of effectiveness, yeah. No, actually, it's each of you separately.
Mm-hmm.
So each one of you separately will that would be the, unless you're using a device or something of the sort, you would be fiercely assaulting the creature. However, what is Sophia doing?
Well, I think her first instinct was like we don't attack things unless we have no other choice. So at first we hid in the bush, and then we heard Wukong, and we were like, oh yeah, big metal cagey thing would probably be safer than the bush. So she like dives in and ends up like laying on the floor. Like,
all right, you're tiny, so you're hidden.
I am duck and cover.
Yeah, you're pretty well hidden at this point. The creature would not be able to reach you from where you are, unless it somehow landed next to the car and then like pulled you out. But you don't think a giant wasp has that much intelligence. So let's go with the two that are assaulting. That would be a roll plus force.
I'm actually not assaulting.
Oh, what do you do?
I'm holding back the tide. Because I said I was going to put myself between Sophia and...
Yes. That's a move from your family.
Playbook.
Your playbook? As a sentinel?
I'm a sentinel, so...
What does it do?
When you stand in defense of a person, place, or a thing, roll plus steal. On a 7 to 9, pick 1. On a 10 plus, pick 2.
Go right ahead.
You know, it's like me and Tiernan standing guard against the very squishy healer who we appreciate and...
Why are we not running away?
Because it can fly. That's the thing that it does. I rolled an 8.
So choose one of your 3 options.
No harm comes to the thing you defend.
All right. So now we know, regardless of what happens, Sophia cannot be injured.
Harmed.
Yeah.
I can, but she can't.
Which leaves us with Wukong. Is there a specific move that you wanted to trigger, or were you going straight for just Fierce Assault?
This is Fierce Assault.
All right. So you would roll plus force. You have it in the basic character moves.
Oh, why is it? Clicking that button should have rolled it, right?
There are a bunch of steps. Like, it asks if it's additional modifiers or anything.
A 6
so
is a
when
failure. Yep.
Hang on one second. So, was I supposed to put a modifier there, or is that factoring in the 2 that's already in?
It's already factoring it in. 2 plus 2 plus 2 is your roll.
Okay, great.
So right now you would fail. However, you could always call for aid. So call for aid is a move that you can do only after failing to roll as well as you'd like. Say what another character nearby can do to boost your efforts. If the group agrees, the helper says how they do it and rolls an appropriate stat. So because you failed, if someone helps you and they succeed, your 6 becomes a 7 or 7 to 9 basically, like one step above.
Yeah, no, there's nothing.
Nothing? All right. So the car begins. Huh?
I have a cat. We can herd it. I was just saying that we could let Tiernan guide the giant waspy thing into your billet stream.
Oh, yeah, I guess we can do that.
But it's whatever you want. It's your moment.
Yeah, no. Why don't we do that then?
All right.
Call for it.
So Tiernan's gonna have to move because Tiernan is just a mount.
Yeah, but
I
they're
don't think
intelligent.
Yeah, no, but what I mean is I don't think they have like bonus stats, like bonuses to anything.
No, they just. It's alive and can follow simple commands. That's it.
All right, then.
So I can tell it to
Yeah.
Flank. Effectively.
You
And
ask it
then-
to flank, and that would be just a 2d6, straight up 2d6.
Okay. Five. Okay. Tiernan can't hear me. Sorry.
If they fail, your results drops to a 6-, which was already the case, and they share in the consequences.
Yeah, well.
So, Tiernan jumps through the hail of bullets to try to basically bite down on the wasp, or at least nudge into it with enough force that the creature has no other way than to be shot at. Unfortunately, Tiernan does not manage to jump high enough in time. The creature moves out of the way, and its abdomen begins to light up, and it rears its abdomen back like a wasp or a bee about to sting. But instead of a dart or anything, it spits out this glob of red glowing phlegm, and it hits the car and begins to eat through the metal. Your car is now dinged, Wukong.
Okay.
Was it armored
Good question.
as a tag?
No, it does not have that as a tag.
Okay, so it's only got three wounds: dinged, twisted, and busted. Dinged doesn't do anything special. It became damaged, but it's still in working order, working condition. That would be your turn.
Well, I do not like this bug. Sophia, you okay?
Yup. See you just see over the in the windshield, you see a little thumbs up.
Well, all right, that's one thing taken care of. Fuck this shit. She reaches down into her thigh holster and pulls out what looks like an Eagle 1911. Because the McLeans were former policemen and soldiers, and Colt 1911 can do a lot of damage, and doesn't really matter how fancy or shitty the world gets. As long as you keep that thing maintained, it'll keep firing forever. And she fires.
So you're going to fire at the thing. Is there a move that you want to proc, or is this just an assault?
I think, this is... Yeah, nope, we're being ambushed. I'm not ambushing anybody. Nope, this is just an assault.
Okay. I would like to know what Wukong and Sophia intend to do before we get to rolling.
Wukong will continue to order bongos to fire at the wasp.
Okay.
As he activates the trailer. And so a little hatch at the top of the trailer opens up, and a platform lifts Wukong up and out and onto the top of his trailer to confront the wasp.
You're going to try to hit it as it comes back around?
Can he move? I figured that the truck was pretty much his move.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you consider the truck your move, then yeah, we'll do the truck.
Yeah, I figure that the truck is fiercely assaulting right now.
Okay. And Sophia.
I mean, I don't have a distance weapon. I'm wondering if I could try and like scare up other local like wildlife. Like I'm imagining like scaring things out of the bushes that might distract the beastie. I don't know.
Sure.
Not a whole lot I can do besides like hide.
Let me check what that kind of Is there a move from your playbook that would let you do that?
No, I was thinking it might be like diffuse, like trying to de-escalate the situation.
Oh, yeah, that works.
Somehow.
And that would be through probably... I'd say roll with lore. And the other two will be to roll with force. So if you look at the basic character moves, Kelly, you'll see for Diffuse on a 7 to 9, you've bought some time, but you're going to have to choose one of the 3 listed results.
I would say, but it's gonna come back. Like it's distracted for the time being. But
Okay. So these like birds that were watching from the trees nearby, you took a rock on the ground and just like chug it in the direction of the tree, shaking it as it hits, and the birds begin flying. And of course, they fly in the path of the wasp, which forces it to stop its descent, its charge towards the group, meaning that it basically hovers in place for the time being, making it a very easy target for Bridget and Wukong.
So just going full out assault.
Yep. You the two of you can roll together, like I mean, at the same time, and just tell me what you pick from the list.
7. On a... sorry, it just closed because it was being weird.
9 for me.
So you find out some new info that your avenue of escape. You inflict savage, terrifying harm, frightening and dismaying your foes. I kind of think that's a thing. But I think Bridget's looking for a way out. So her avenue of escape is clear. It's like, can we get this show on the road and get beyond the giant flying wasp thing? And let the big, really, really big gun do some damage.
So, I'm going to choose inflict savage, terrifying harm, frightening and dismaying the wasp.
With the two of you inflicting savage and terrifying harm, especially since...
I'm looking for... I took the way out.
Oh, the avenue of escape. Okay. So you were looking for a way to go. As you look around, you notice this black mass in the sky a couple of 100 feet away. It's like a small black cloud with reflections of red, maybe? Like some reddish hue to it. And they're coming your way. Your sole avenue of escape would be to keep going towards the ranger station. But as you see that, you hear the cannon just go, and the creature is dead. However, I get to choose because of what you all rolled. I get to choose, wow, 4. Jesus. Alright, as the wasp explodes in a shower of gibbets, of pieces, you notice that it's inside, and its blood and everything seems to be just as acidic as the thing it fired at you. And as it rains down all around you, some of it will fall on both you, Wukong, and you, Bridget. So I will take, like, twice you take harm is appropriate, so 1 on each of you. Something or someone important is harmed, the car will be harmed again. And the mount will be harmed as well.
Okay, both the mount and I have armor, so what does that do? Because I got to add that tag when we tooled up.
Yeah, armor's not a tag. That would have been something else.
Armored is a tag.
Oh, there's seal. You meant probably hardened or
No,
tough?
tough armored. Utility. The ranger uniform is utility, tough, standard, and then I added the tag armored.
But
That's on the.
well, if you look at the outfit sheet, there's nothing that says armored.
I know, but it's on the list of defenses.
That's weird. Okay, wait. It might be in the book, but just not on the PDF. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, actually, it's not even in the book. I would say,
Because it says, like, there are some of them say get +1 armor to these that deal harm to you. That's thermo. But then there's, like, sealed is +1 armor.
yeah, for, like, lack of hair or stuff like that. And tough is for, like, physical impact. Thermo is from freezing and scorching.
Yeah, because it's like improvised armor has the tags tough and armored.
Yeah, which is very strange because it's not in...
Sometimes these things happen. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Can you just choose another tag to make sure that we have, like, something to refer to? Because to me, armored was basically the, like, tough.
Okay, then it would be like tough and hardened.
That works. That absolutely works. I'm trying to find the lawgivers.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that say +1 armor, but it's not clear what armor does.
Sorry,
We're all
everyone.
figuring out together, y'all.
Yep. Yeah, so improvised armor in the book is tough and utility. So what they meant by armor, that's just a mistake. It's tough and utility for improvised armor.
Okay.
So the tag armor doesn't... It exists, like, only on the character sheets that we have on Roll20.
But what does +1 armor mean?
That's what I'm trying to find. I think it negates... Like, you can use it to
Because I have a
negate
move,
something.
too, that says, like, you get +1 armor if you hide instead of fight. Which is not a move that I took, but it's a move on my sheet.
Yeah, so is that like... Does that mean, like, you take 1 less harm?
I think that's what it is.
Okay.
I'm just gonna check harm. But I probably, like, we're gonna go with that if, 56, if that's okay with y'all. Yeah, okay. Uh-huh. 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 Sure. Like, we'll go with, you lower it by 1. So these, this rain, of stuff that falls upon you, basically your armors, be it your, lawgiver suit or even your sleek, technological armor, Wukong, like, it sears it a bit. There's, like, holes in it, but nothing... Everything's fine. And that would mean that also your mount does not suffer any wounds. But the car, because the car is not armored anymore, it does suffer some more wounds, meaning that it is now twisted, which gives you disadvantage to checks while using it.
Okay. Wukong actually has 2 armor against environment effects and attacks that are not elegant, brutal, or aberrant, because he's a synthetic being.
Oh. The acid, though, would probably be aberrant.
Okay.
Because it's acid.
Okay. His defenses, anyway, include mobile, hardened, and sealed, so... I'm assuming...
seal works against it because of it's against corrosion.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, you're fine as like this rain of stuff, goo falls upon you. But like I said earlier, there is now a cloud of black and red on the horizon.
I think this is time to get ourselves gone.
Yeah, so Wukong just looks at the front of the vehicle and he says, well, that's not going to buff right out.
Well, we're close to the station. We can hit up there.
Agreed. And Wukong will reboard his vehicle.
All right.
If you
I'm keeping
continue...
my eyes closed this time.
There is a lever there that if you pull it, it will grant you access to the trailer. There's a med bay here if you feel like treating yourself.
No, I'll just keep my eyes closed. Puts her feet up on the dash.
Alright then.
So Bongos actually intercedes and makes holds his hands out to make sure that Sophia doesn't kick the bongos as folding back into the vehicle, lest she accidentally set off to the guns to fire again.
Oh, sorry.
You make your way to the ranger station, the park ranger station that's atop a bluff, near where you were. It's about maybe a half hour more, though the Arc-like truck is not in the best of shapes at the moment. And you avoid going too fast for fear of breaking something that would be irreparable.
I know we find treasure.
Yes.
You found somewhere that there's something interesting. I would like to know what it is. And however it is at the moment defended, because it's treasure that you can claim if you can secure it.
Okay.
So what makes it unsecure and what could it be? I'm leaving that up to all 3 of you.
I think when Sophia was losing her lunch outside the trailer, because we're going up an incline, you could look down off of the side of a highway, and there was something in the ditch, like like a container that had fallen off a truck or something that had fallen into the underbrush that you couldn't see from the road.
Okay. And what makes it unsecure at the moment?
Big ass flying bugs.
So it's actually in a wasp's nest.
Wasp.
Mm.
Or right below one.
Not cool.
No,
Because
because it contains a colony of wasps.
But there are other things that might be inside the container that might be more useful than friggin' giant wasps.
yes.
So we go back, we heal up, and we sneak in. Dun, 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 dun.
I mean, I know a guy with a flamethrower.
Or that option.
By the way, the wasp that you defeated, just so you know, it is the size of a pony.
Yeah,
Sounds
I
about
vote
right.
flamethrower. I vote flamethrower. It's like dealing with fire ants, y'all. There is no such thing as
Or
too
we
much
just
firepower.
leave it alone because we're clearly disrupting its home. I don't want somebody to come into my home and start poking around.
Does your home carry vital equipment for the survival of?
The people that live there, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think the wasps care that much about the equipment that might be in that box.
Okay. We could just sneak in and grab it and leave.
Okay,
We could use the flamethrower as a backup plan.
flamethrower's backup plan. That is
Plan
a sound.
B.
And C and D and possibly even E and F.
Sure.
Alright then. As long as we got plans through F.
But do you attempt to sneak in right now?
No, we're probably gonna
No.
head to the radio
Okay.
station.
We'll come back. We'll double back.
Half an hour later, you reach the top of the bluff where the ranger station is. What does the station look like from the outside?
It looks like oh wait, hold on. It had it looks like it has it's a like stone building that was like field stones piled on each other on the first floor, and then there was there's an actual like gate that opens up, and at one point it probably looked like a national park or a state park. It opened up onto a lookout over the state park, so there was like a fortified area in the center that was at one point like an open, probably was a parking lot at some point, but now is like been turned into a training yard, and there's everything is made of these field stones that are kind of piled all on together, and they have the big National Park Service medallions and the wooden signs everywhere for like, mess, training yard, and archive. And there's a small lookout. There's a pretty decent sized lookout tower that was at one point just like a scenic overlook, but now has become a fortified means of observation as the high point in the area.
Okay.
And you even though there are lots of trees around, it looks like somebody's gone through and like cleared 20 or 30 feet down the bluff so that you in all directions, so nobody can like sneak up on the station. It's not a big station. It probably could house maybe 50 people if they were being friendly in a bunkhouse.
Okay. And
there's
thus,
still a sign that says gift shop, but nobody knows what's actually in the gift shop.
So you make your way up the bluff, and you are met with 4 patrol people that come out of the ranger station. Dressed in more or less the ranger uniform. Camel clothes, light armor. They all wear the blades at their sides. They approach you lot, and one of them, an older woman in her 40s. Now that's assuming your characters are younger than 40 years old. Which I didn't ask earlier, but it's not really relevant for Wukong.
Wukong's 2.5 years old.
She approaches the 4 of you and says, "Is everyone alright? We saw the cloud of wasps coming our way.
They might be a mite more pissed off. We did leave some remains on the road, but she's gonna Bridget is kind of brushing off the powder, like the blackened spots off her jet coat, and where the acid kind of ate through it a little bit, and I think we're okay. I think it's mostly just that, and she kind of gestures to Wukong's vehicle.
It could use a tune-up.
We'll see what we can do. We've already sent out words to anyone on our territory to stay inside for the time being. We don't know when the wasps are gonna leave. We don't know what they want exactly. But if you piss them off, might be better for everyone to just stay inside. Bring your car around back, sir.
Just Wukong. And he's going to whistle and just gesture in the air a little bit, and Bongos is just going to drive the truck over.
All right. We're going to try to have our people look into it, though I do have to warn you right away, Wukong, that we're very short on anything transport related. We might not have pieces required to repair your vehicle. We'll see what we can do.
We're going to double back and take a look at that container. Maybe there might be something in there for it.
How big was that container, by the way? Are we talking like a shipping container?
I was thinking like a shipping container, like an 18-wheeler run off the side of the road.
Okay.
Lost a load kind of thing.
All right, we'll see what we can do. In the meantime, do you want to come in? We have some warm soup.
You by chance have any ginger?
We might.
It's a natural treatment for upset tummies.
Well, seeing how the McLeans do not need any food stuff, they probably have like a piece of ginger left that just nobody wants to eat. Come in, then come in. And they'll welcome you into the station. You spend most of the day, maybe even night, as they're working fiercely on your vehicle. Do you have, Deirdre, any surplus? Basically, they can only heal the car, we'll say, like remove one harm. So it's gonna be dinged, but not completely twisted. However, if there's a surplus you would like to erase, mark off, if it's relevant, they could use this surplus to...
I got weapons and leadership.
I mean... I think the only relevant one would be, like, weapons, like melting down guns and use that steel to patch up the car. If you want.
I think the let's sneak in and see if we can't find something in that trailer that might be a lot more useful in the short term, because the gun, I'm willing to give up some of that weaponry, but it would rather not if we don't have to.
All right. Then what we're gonna do here, because we're nearing the end of our first session, we're going to zoom out. We should have done that earlier. We're not going to use the zooming out move for now, because we're not skipping ahead in time. Though we are going to move to your families. While this is all happening, we know of 3 factions, well, 4, 5, Jesus, there's so many factions, 6. The 3 of you, the Trading Post, the Raiders, the Junos, and the Cult of the Fall. Are there any, like, anything that you think your family would like to do as a whole? Either to help another family, to seek help for your own family, or to seize something for themselves? If you look at the family moves, because as your characters are just out and about, it doesn't mean that your family is sitting idly by.
I mean, it's kind of claim by force, but not really, because what I think would have happened is that they would have had the McLeans have enough of a local walkie-talkie system, not the high-end communications that Arclight Labs have, but enough of a within the patrol area that they can have basic communication. I think Bridget would have let people know, BT dubs, the bridge is out. And that's not something that we could let go for a long time, so we'd need to secure both sides of the bridge to make sure that we could let somebody start repairing it.
I would say because it affects your family.
Yeah.
I would go for a hold together move.
Okay, that works.
Because we'll consider a break in your patrol route to be a hardship.
Okay.
And one of the success thing that you can have is it's become more manageable. Or basically, if you succeed, For sure, the bridge will be repaired.
Yeah.
You'll have to choose one of the consequences. But yes, it's entirely possible. Like, Bridget has told them that, and the family will get, like, a bunch of people together to go and try to repair it.
Can I lend aid to that? Because my family relies on theirs for their patrols so much.
Yes, could you roll... Oh, we'll do lend aid first, then, because that might affect the other one.
Yeah. And is she rolling with the treaty that she has on us, or we have
Yes,
on her?
that she has on you.
So then it's +3.
So that would just be 2d6 plus 3 then?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nine. Your family is exposed to any danger, retribution, or unforeseen consequences of their move. But on a hit, you give that family fleeting advantage. So, for the next roll, the lawgivers, the McLeans, have advantage for the hold together. However, can you tell me, Kelly, how did that, like... The fact that you've helped them has exposed your family to danger or retribution. What do you think it could be?
I mean, I think anytime a large number of the family members leave the compound, it exposes them to kind of some of these more dangerous elements like beasts. And it also leaves the compound less defended, essentially.
Okay. That is awesome.
Since we have so few people, spreading us thin is dangerous in and of itself.
All right. Then what we'll say is the children will face I'll call it a disaster. Something will probably happen soon, or while those people were out. Either on their way back, or maybe later, we'll see about that, but you're right now you're exposed.
Mm-hmm.
But they did manage to help, so could you roll your 3d6?
With advantage, right?
Well, it's 3d6, take the highest.
Well, no, there's an actual input value you could roll with an advantage.
Oh, that's even better.
Nine.
That's good.
So, because we're hold together. Hit you remain okay, but another family or faction came through to help you.
Like, narratively speaking, that would be the easiest.
Yeah.
Also because you cannot get any... Like, mechanically, you cannot get more need recruits.
Yeah. So, I would say give another treaty on... Oh, but I can't go any higher than 3, right?
No, you can give as many treaties as you want.
Okay. So, then... Okay, she can spend them to do other things on me.
She can spend them to force you
To do something. Yeah. So, yeah. You get another treaty on us as we are bolstered by your technological prowess in helping us put together a bridge while we hold it, hold the ends and sides of the bridge. And that's what we're doing.
Cool. What about Wukong?
So I have to choose a move that my family does?
If you want, you don't have to. Your family could also just not do anything for the meantime, for the time being.
I think I want to use the Kaiju Threat Alert move that Arclight Labs has.
That is the family move for Arclight, right?
That's right.
Okay, what does it do real quick?
When you scout for signs of a behemoth attack, pick a danger in the world as an omen of an incoming assault. Say how it threatens families of your choice who become alerted. You can spend treaty you have on one alerted group on any other.
Oh. That's cool. All right, then yes, you can definitely see if your Kaiju Threat Alert did anything. Do you have to roll?
I don't think it says
No,
that.
it's actually automatic. Oh, that's even cooler. Okay, so we have to do, as a group, we have to work out a few things. What is that behemoth? Is it one very large one? Is it a pack of slightly smaller ones?
It says here to pick a danger in the world as an omen of an incoming assault. Can we say that the cloud of wasps is that danger
Omen?
or omen?
Of course, yes. Absolutely.
Okay. I want to say that it's threatening the Junos.
Oh, okay. All right. Threatening the Junos. And now the only thing is you're gonna have to deal with it, or you might not need to.
It says I don't have to. It says that any one of these options, there are a number of things that can resolve this. But I don't think any of these activate right now.
No, because right now, if, let's say, you stop the Wasp's next session, that would count as the first one.
Okay.
Because you know that they're moving in the direction of the Junos. If you act very quickly, it'll be before the threat becomes plausible. So the Junos would get a treaty on you.
Sure.
Otherwise, if you stop it once it's a clear threat, once they've... We'll see how things play out next session.
Sure.
You would gain a treaty on them because you could, bank on the fact that you've saved them.
I'm actually kind of hoping that it just happens as I foresee, so that I get a need.
Oh.
You want to sick a bunch of giant wasps on those guys who don't wear shirts and we're kind of, unpersonable like?
Yeah.
But
I
you-
should not appreciate that as much as I do.
But you would gain a need, meaning that
I would get a need. Yeah.
it's not.
They would get a need. They would get a need too. But
Yes. Well, we can say that they're alerted. Like let's tweak the narrative a bit here, because
Okay.
it's BBTA and the fun is to make up a story. What
Sure.
about the cloud that you saw was on their return trip from the Junos, and your family was made aware while you, Wukong, were on your way to the trading post. So the
Okay.
Kaiju Threat Alert was turned on. It identified the wasps moving towards the territory of the Junos. Nobody did anything
Did anything.
about it, and so the wasps just destroyed the Junos place, creating a need for them and a need for you, because something, I don't know, maybe in order to make the alert, the threat alert network function, like it drained your resources or whatever. I don't know which need that you would like to have.
Gain a need. I thought it meant to fulfill a need. That's my
No,
bad.
no, that would be gaining a surplus.
Okay, my bad. No, we'll just say that they're under alert right now, and
Okay. And
action
so
needs to be taken right.
you're on a timer, basically.
Yeah.
Or, well, they're also on a timer, but they probably won't do a lot. All right, and then Kelly, what about your family?
I think, having learned about this since my family knows that this new Juno group exists and that they're trying to vie for power, that makes us nervous. We have to figure out how to pass judgment, because that's what we do as a religious organization. Literally on the sheet.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I'm going to do Uncover Secrets.
Ooh.
So on a hit, I get to ask questions. But I don't have any data to spend, so it's just going to be a straight roll.
Yeah, you don't have any data on them, so.
Nope. We snooped and we did not learn anything.
Oh, that is true. Unless someone were to lend aid to you.
I mean, we are standing around guarding this
Bridge together.
bridge. But the McLeans are guarding the bridge. Let's be realistic. They have some level of engineering, but it's like MacGyver level of engineering.
I imagine how this happened is like we helped you put the bridge back together with some tech that we had uncovered, and we also like hosted a potluck.
Of course, there was a potluck. We brought the booze.
So then
Lend aid. What do we roll?
that would be a lend aid move. That means that it's a plus treaty. So how many treaties do you have on?
They have 3 on us. I don't know how many.
It's what you have on them. Meaning, if you look at your sheet, you should have like their name.
Yeah. So it's well, because what we have written down is the number of treaty on us. Or no?
No.
You should have written down the number of treaties you have on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have 3 on you.
Yeah, both of you have 3 on the other.
On each other. Yeah.
Now.
No. Yeah. All right. So that's 2d6. 3. That's a 9.
Your family is exposed to any danger, retribution, or unforeseen consequences of their move. How are they put in danger?
I figure, I mean, you're asking for help with this information. We figure it's like, no, you can't go alone. So we send a couple recruits or a couple members, and we don't have a lot of recruits, but we have a shit ton of our weaponry to act as like a defense while you're snooping.
So,
Well, if we're caught, then you're fallen. You take the fall with us. kind of.
Yeah, but it's also would be from one of our moves is we would we lay down the law. We have a strict moral code. We don't let you guys get caught.
all right.
So
Kelly,
Or should
you
I
would
just-
get to re-roll your 1.
Reroll that. Or reroll the one.
Yeah, because basically it would mean that you would have rolled with advantage. So
Have
we'll just-
rolled an extra one. Got it.
So that's
7!
an 8. 7, yes. So
7.
you get to ask 1 question from the 4 questions that you have.
One of these, the question that I want to ask is really big. So feel free to limit your answer. But it's
Sure.
So one of the options is what's the truth behind blank.
Mhm.
So it would be what's the truth behind the Juno family. And I'm thinking like from my family's point of view, we want to know like how far are they willing to go? Like what are their lines? Like that's kind of what we're interested in because we're trying to figure out like are they a danger problem or not?
Your family has uncovered that the Junos are using. I don't want to say scavenged.
Looted, raided.
They've butchered a monster. And extracted some sort of poison from it. And they are they're basically infecting. They do have medicine. That's the one thing that you found out. Is they do have medicine. They've probably have raided like an old pharmacy or something somewhere. But they're tainting everything with this poison.
Sons of bitches.
They get put in the corrupt column. That's actually relevant to my family when I make that decision.
And what happens when does anything happen when you put them into that column, or?
Well, I can condemn them I have a move that I can use that I condemn them publicly. But I'm gonna wait to do that. I'm not gonna do that right
All
away.
right. So yeah, and you would know, by the way, that the Junos are 8 people.
Okay.
So they're not a big group. It's mostly mostly like a small gang, who are, by the way, almost all identical. All male, heavily tattooed, shaved head, shaved beard, shaved eyebrows.
Are they all related?
That the spies couldn't tell.
Cool.
And so with that, our first session comes to a close. We are going to do end of session moves. Which are where on my stuff? Nowhere! I have to get the book up. Sorry, still getting used to stuff. And 248, I think. Nope. Player versus player. Nope, not right now. Because
That's gracious.
Huh?
One of the moves I have could require the GM to unleash a natural disaster upon a family.
I mean,
Basically, I can summon. Based on down, I can summon the floods.
nice.
You smite people.
Yeah. Consider yourself smoted.
You can just downright say, like,
You call plagues down
Yeah.
upon your neighbors?
locusts are gonna show up.
We don't need locusts. Uh-uh.
Well, we have the giant stuff. That's moving forward. That's zooming out. We've sort of done that, but starting next week, we're gonna actually do it properly. Yeah, that's weird. Because normally PBTA and chat, if there's anybody in chat right now, normally PBTA games have like a end of session move for everyone, where you do the you basically wrap up the session, hand out XP, do all that stuff.
I don't have the book in front of me, I can't tell you.
88. It's because the index in this book is completely useless. What's you? Oh, it might be a. When you bring a character's relic. No, that's when someone dies. That's on the age turns. Like we said, this is very much a learning experience for all of us.
I mean, if we can just put them off until next week. So if we can
Yeah,
find
we can
them.
look into it and figure it. Do it at
Yeah,
the
I
next
think
week or whatever.
that's what I'm gonna do because I do have no idea. So let's go around the table. Tell us who you are, where we can find you. Did you enjoy today's game, and what would be your stars and wishes for the next episodes? Onward. Let's begin with Dirja.
Oh, hey! Yay! Oh, hi, y'all. You know me. I'm at Dirge on Twitter or Prexcorth as Mephoria, as you see me around Twitch. Stars and wishes. I loved all of this. I loved both the wonderful hippie chatterbox that is Sophia and the descriptive of bongo playing bongos to fire guns. I love this. It makes a lot of sense to me. I also love the fact that I have a giant freaking cat with hide armor that will destroy you. Hopefully not die. I don't really have any wishes yet because I'm loving everything that's going and seeing where the story builds and how it builds together. But as for me, you can find me on Twitter at Deirdre Dunlin or Prexcorth as Mephoria, as I said, around Twitch. Tomorrow we are back with Classics on Twitch. At 11 a.m. on my channel, we are doing a live dramatic reading of Aphra Beans, The Feigned Courtesans. She is a English Restoration era playwright who writes farce sex comedies with a feminist bend from the 17th century. They are quite entertaining. And then Wednesday, we're going to do another one of her plays, The Dutch Lover. Thursday, we are doing Midsummer Night's Dream, and Friday, we are completing this week of comedies with Aristophanes Lysistrata, officially the thirstiest play in history. Then you can find me on Wednesday over on Tales from the Grim for the season finale of Witcher Family of Wraiths. Back here Thursday for Dragon Age. We are back with Dragon Age, The Search for Anders. I can't wait for this. It'll be a lot of fun. We are all betting to see on whether or not Mavia gets punted out a window and how many of the NPCs that we can all romance throughout this game. It'll be great. Friday for Cyberpunk, and that's it. Because there's no more vampire.
That's it.
That's a
Isn't
whole
that
lot of
enough?
things.
Same. Like,
I have a lot of time on my hands right now, y'all. I also write games. Check them out. Let me know what you think. But I'm doing weird things. Check my Twitter because I post where I'm going to be, and I have a pinned tweet about where I actually am most of the time, I think.
Anino.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Anino. You can find me on Twitter at Anino Gaming. I had a great time tonight. I like all of the characters that are here, and finally fulfilling my primate wishes in dreams with robots, guns, and chimpanzee tropes. So looking forward to see what happens next and how all this drama gets escalated even further. But as far as where you can find me, tomorrow I'm doing something different. I will be on a panel at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on the Victory Condition Gaming YouTube channel. I'll be on a panel with Miriam Ahmad, Banana Chan, and Morgan Nunes, and we're going to be talking for an hour about being a person of color in tabletop role-playing and so that should be a good time. That's the very first panel that I've ever been invited to do. So Looking forward to that. And then on Wednesday, you'll find me back on this channel at I think it's 9
p.m.
9:30, 9 p.m. for Strata Enter House, where Jimenez will get transported to a alternate reality / dimension.
I saw
his fortune told. So.
Yeah. I saw your name on the tweet and I was like, that's gonna be interesting. To have Jimenez show up at the Stranger House. Will your, by the way, because I'll be GMing tomorrow at 9 p.m., will your panel be like available on VOD somewhere after?
I think it will probably be a VOD on that channel too. But yeah, I'll throw that link out there and promote it. Everything is settled.
Cool.
Excuse me.
No, that's okay. And Stars and Wishes.
I hope my truck gets fixed because that was like the coolest thing that I had. But I think that's it. I think just accomplishing his family's mission is really important to Wukong. So.
All right. And last but certainly not least, Kelly.
Hi, I'm Kelly. Kelly on Twitter, Kelly in chat. And I do stuff and things, less stuff and things than I've done before. Recently, you can find one of my adventures in Unbridled, and I am sad to say I think mine is the least weird thing in that book. Because it gets weird, y'all. It's weird, and it is queer, and there are courtroom dramas and an apocalyptic unicorn gingerbread cookies and hag robots, and yeah, it's weird. I highly recommend Unbridled to anyone who likes goofy, strange one-shots D&D. Find it on DM's Guild. As for streaming right now, I'm here and I do this show. Taking a little bit of a break, but I've got things. I've got ideas. There's a list of ideas. If I ever contact anyone about actually running any of them, I'll let you all know. But that's where I'm at. Yeah. See you in a week.
Cool. Yes. And what about Stars and Witches?
Oh. I'm looking forward to exploring some, like, wreckage, like ruins and stuff. I think that will be a fun thing to do. So that would be something I would like to do.
All right.
And today I enjoyed Bongos Bonkos. That was excellent. I did not see that coming.
Good. Thank you for the Stars and Wishes. I am Simon at Wandering DM. Thank you everyone for coming. I forgot to plug all of our sponsors at the start of the show, so let's just give a shout out to Magen Press, to Found Familiar, and through the Diceomancy program, Level Up Dice. You might want to check them out using the panels down below or the links in chat. If you use code Wandering DM, you get 15% off on Magen Press stuff and 10% off on Found Familiar stuff. I've also published an adventure on DriveThruRPG. It's called Fell Deeds in Felfair Grove. You can check it out on the panel down below. It is currently the #1 LGBTQ product on the DriveThruRPG. Or adventure, I should say, because it's not like all-encompassing. But yes, there is a strong LGBTQI presence in the adventure because I wanted to represent just about everyone. Yeah, it's about overthrowing a tyrant and restoring peace to a small frontier town. Before we go, Deirdre said just about everything there was to be said about this channel, and Anino said the other half, so we're gonna go raid Lindy, because she's playing some D&D, and we're gonna go say hi to our friend Lindy, and we will see you here back next week. Thank you for watching, everyone. Thank you for hanging out in chat. Thank you for the raids, the follows. Thank you for everything. Thank you to those of you watching on YouTube. It's always greatly appreciated to know that we have fans on the other platform. See you tomorrow, everyone.